I didn't come to Ghana looking for love or for women for any kind of transactional or self serving kind of way. I came to focus, to breathe. But what I experienced with the women I met here deserved to be said out loud because it's something I don't see too often. What's up, y'all? My name is Nasir, and I'm a cloud engineer and a tech consultant. And one of the perks of what I do is freedom. I get to take my work with me, and shout out to my company for allowing me to be able to work fully remote, regardless of if I'm in the States or not, because a lot of companies do not allow that anymore. All right. And for the past month, that freedom has taken me back to Ghana. So, yeah, this is my second time here. The first trip was back in August of 2024, and this time I touched down in March last month, and it's now April 2025. Different season, different mindset. I also do not have a social, so I don't have an Instagram no more. So I used to have it, I guess, a small to medium sized Instagram following, and the people I knew in Ghana, I only knew them because they followed me on my Instagram account. And I haven't had an Instagram in over a year. I just started a Snapchat when I arrived here. Don't have a Facebook. I haven't had a Facebook in 3 years, and I this is my first couple set of videos that I'm posting on YouTube. So I'm seeing how that go, right? So yeah, this video is on my experience with Ghanaian women, and because of that, I did. I must say that I did leave my Tinder on, just out of curiosity. I no longer have a Tinder anymore because again, I came here to lock in, clear my head, reset, no distractions. And naturally, having a dating app could do just that, right? But when I first arrived, I did leave my Tinder on, not because I was chasing anything, but because I was curious, right? I started the Tinder when I was in Atlanta 3 weeks before I got here. And again, I was curious about the culture and curious about what the connection would look like, and also what dating will look like when you're not like actively and aggressively hunting and just living, right? And I know I can do that, and I can do that anywhere, but I'm in Ghana, so I want to talk about how my experience has been in Ghana so far, from the last trip, including this trip. Most of the women that I met, whether through Tinder or in real life, were the ones who approached me first. Now, that's not me saying that all Ghanaian women is going to approach you first, right? So take this with a grain of salt. I'm really just introducing how I date, regardless of where I am in the world. I only deal with women with high interest in me, right? And those who know what I mean when I say that. And I'm not saying that I would never approach a woman, but if I am going to approach a woman, I mean, I am going to get some sort of choosing signal. She's going to wink at me, give me that real strong eye look, or she's going to like get her friend to do the talking for her because she's shy. Y'all know the drill. I'm not gonna teach y'all what flirting look like, right? But what's a little bit different from my experience here is that a lot of them, they were so beautiful. Some of the ones who approached me or let it be known that she thought I was attractive were the kind of women I felt like wouldn't give me the time of day in the States. And that's not me saying that I'm not worthy of it or I don't think I'm handsome enough. It's just that it's a bit different. I felt like the kind of women that approached me here or gave me choosing signals here, they would make you run, go through hoops really to get their attention. Or you gotta be at least 6'2", 6'3", and I'm neither, right? To be able to get that like high interest from a woman who's like a 9 or a 10. Or unless she knows you through a friend, or you're visibly wealthy, or you have a very high social status, which I am aware of too. Like I have experienced women, nine, tens, in the states who did give me those type of choosing signals, but that's only when they knew I had a high social followers, right? So I didn't take that like real, you know what I mean? It was my real experience, my real life. Yeah, these women wanted to go on dates with me, but I'm talking about like in person. You don't know my follower count or anything like that. Are you still interested? Are you still giving me that same high interest choosing signal? That's pretty much what I'm talking about. So here they not only noticed, but they engaged, initiated, held eye contact, smiled, right? But not in that obligatory kind of way when they're smiling just to be polite. But it was like they meant it, right? Especially the one that I'm talking about in particular. When we first met, like the way she looked at me, she pretty much held my hand for about an hour, just talking to me like she was super giddy about meeting me, and I was shocked because I'm like, damn, this girl is drop dead gorgeous, right? So of course, the natural flirtations, the blushing, locking the eyes, all of that. That was something that stuck with me enough to even, to bring it up in this video on the type of experiences that I got here. Right. So, and something else that stood out to me about Ghanaian women is how soft majority of them are. They're so feminine that it just challenges the stereotypical statements that we make about women in the West, especially black women. Because the black, I would say I've never met an aggressive, like overly strong black woman that did not respect me as a masculine in her space. So if y'all know about the yin and yang, feminine and masculine energy types, when you meet that type of woman in the States, y'all know how it is. Like we're shocked when we meet that kind of woman in the States. It's like, wow, this woman she's fierce, but she's one in her femininity. But here is almost as if it's normal, it's normalized. It's not something that's just going to shock you. Well, it shocked me because I ain't used to it, right? But it's very natural here. Yeah, sometimes in the States, y'all know how it is. The energy, the dates, all of that can feel very transactional. I hear, man, I've had dates at KFC. You know what I'm saying? You could meet a woman and take her to go get some chicken or something, and she accepts it. She doesn't belittle you about it. I wore Balenciagas majority of my trip, and nobody even knew what the Balenciagas were. So, you know what I'm saying? It was nothing about classism, at least not in my personal experience. I could be ignorant. They could have noticed it just off of me coming across as American. And y'all know how if you ever travel in this world, a lot of times they know that you're an American. Sometimes the presumption is placed on you that you just might have money, right? So when I say they didn't know this or that, it could be half ignorant here, and they could have placed those same classism stereotypes on me, right? So I want to be fair here. So moving on, nice like Acrovaganza, if I'm pronouncing that right. I was there, and the same thing happened. I mean, women approached me, striking up conversations, asking me real questions. No games, no veiled sarcasm, just genuine interest, right? And that was on Tinder as well. And one of the good things about this, of course, is straight no games, right? Real quick, you could meet a woman that day and she wants to come over that night or the next day. It's very quick. And I'm not saying it to mean they're like promiscuous. I'm just saying there's no games, it's straight, no cookie cutter, very intentional. And that, again, at times this is very awesome. But then also at time for me, I'm a busy guy and I want to be busy. It could drive a wedge between me and those women because while they want things right away, the same way a lot of American men want them, um, that's not for me. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a guy who love his space and his privacy. Even back at home when I used to date, I would give women a 3 hour time frame. Like, we cannot really be out longer 3 hours. Unless this is like the best date in the world and me and you like basically fell in love. I don't want to be out with you longer than 3 hours because I got shit to do. So I would say that if you're a man in America and you're one of those guys that text very consistently and very actively, you would love the women here. You would be literally like in heaven because they all text very fast. At least the ones I've experienced, right? This is my personal opinion. They text very fast and they're very intentional about what's going on. So yeah, you will feel at home if that's the type of guy that you are. All right, so something else to point out was that I would say that most of the women who either wanted my attention or approached me, whether that be in person or through the Tinder app, were between the ages of 20 and 30. All right, so back in the States, I would say that most of the women who showed interest in me were over 30. I would say the youngest in the States, usually they hit on me. And by the way, I'm 34 right now. I'll be 35 this year. I would say the youngest women to really want my attention or to show interest in me, I would say maybe 25 usually. There have been times where it might be a woman like 21 or 22, but that's very, very rare for me. Not that it's a complaint, not that me saying that I want younger or that I want older. I do not age discriminate, but I am saying that if y'all have any similar experiences that I had, it's like extremely normalized, right? It don't feel fake at all. I don't feel like the woman is just trying to talk to me because she want money out of me. I'm not getting that feeling. I'm just saying that in genuinely, the attraction is literally between. I would say is mostly. I'm probably being kind when I say 20 to 30. It's mostly between 20 and 25. And I say the second half of that average is the 25 and 30. Um, I may have only had a couple women reach out to me who are 32, but nothing over the age of 32 have I ever talked to here in Ghana. And again, just want to repeat, I don't care about the age at all. In the States, I have a very wide range of ages that I'm willing to date. I really don't care about that. I care about the personality. Can we actually have a conversation? What do you give me that makes sense in my life, right? So it's not the age, but the energy. And here, the energy is very unmistakable. Every woman that I spent time with here shared one consistent instinct: to help, to serve, to nurture, to take care of me in a way that felt effortless, like it was second nature. They asked if I'd eaten, bring food that they've already cooked for me, or bring the materials needed to start cooking in my kitchen like it was routine. I'd be in the shower, and by the time I got out, the bed's made, dishes are being cleaned, laundry might be being folded, no announcement, no look at what I just did or what you gonna do for me now, just done. And when I would say things like, "Hey, you don't have to do that. I got it." They look at me like I was speaking another language. Maybe even offended, right? At times. Like one woman actually paused and asked me when I was trying to like fix my own food, she stopped and was like, "So you just going to serve yourself?" She was literally confused, offended even, because in her mind that meant I wasn't feeling her, that I didn't want her there, right? As if she wasn't there. Like this is what I'm here for. I got you. Like sit your ass down, right? And that flipped my perspective because in the US, acts like that are often viewed as outdated or worse, oppressive, right? But here it's love, it's culture, it's how they express themselves, right? It's how they show that they care, it's how they show that I'm here, not for clout, but because they mean it. But yeah, man, it's definitely a different kind of support. Even the smallest things stood out to me, like carrying bags. And in the US, it's expected for a man to shoulder everything. And I'm not saying that's a problem. I want to carry bags, especially if they're heavy. But here, women will reach for your bags without hesitation. And again, I'm giving y'all my opinions based off countless of women. This is a shared experience off of different women, right? I have yet to meet a woman here in Ghana who didn't just naturally want to reach for my bags. Not to prove a point, not to flip gender roles, but to show support. This is their way of saying I got you too. And remind me of one of the times like me and my ex, we saw this wealthy looking African gentleman with his wife, and she was carrying all the bags. And we thought it was just something that Africans must have done as a sign of like a wealthiness, right? Like maybe this is just when a man has a lot of money in Africa. This is the culture because we could not imagine it being something normal. But now that I've been coming to Africa, in specific Ghana, this is something that I've naturally been seeing done consistently and over that women want to naturally reach for the bag, right? So that reminds me, I took a tour one afternoon and I learned that in certain Ghanaian tribes, when a girl reaches her first menstrual cycle, she's taught how to become a wife. And that tradition is seemingly still alive in some families. And while that idea might sound old fashioned to some, when you look at how many of these women carry themselves, how they speak, how they engage, there's no denying the results, right? But make no mistake, these women are not passive. They are not submissive like entirely. They're intentional and they're simply kind, right? Their kindness isn't weakness. And that so often a lot of women have grown to believe that kindness is weakness, and I will always fight to disagree with that. Like there's a way, I think there's so much strength in femininity. There's strength in kindness. You can literally have a man jump through fire, a loop of fire, maybe even for a woman that's extremely feminine. Like a man wants to save you, right? And I think a woman who acknowledges that can be or is extremely powerful. And if a Ghanaian woman is interested in you, she's not going to leave you wondering. She'll say it, ask it, define it. You might meet her on Monday, and I said this earlier in the video. You might meet her on a Monday, and by Tuesday, she's asking, "What is this? Where are we going? And what do you want?" And again, like I said earlier in this video, that for some men, this might be a blessing because there is no gray areas, no guessing games. And for me, it was challenging because again, I do live a full life. My work is demanding. I have a daughter back in Ohio, a fitness routine, and meetings that span across time zones. So when I take a few hours to reply to a message, it's not because I'm uninterested, but it's often seen as that though, right? So a lot of women, regardless of who I'm talking to in this world, just they would take that as a sign of, oh, he don't like me, and it does make dating extremely difficult for me because I don't want to have to always have to be on it, like every few minutes texting people. Like to me, it's draining, right? And for some of these women, that inconsistency is a red flag, and maybe rightfully so. They're used to presence, to intention, and they want to feel prioritized, and I respect that. I had to turn Tinder off after like 3 days, right? It was way too many matches, and I couldn't keep up. It felt like Atlanta, but on steroids, right? In comparison to the volume, the beauty, and the variety, it was extremely overwhelming for me, especially considering the fact that I'm still working while I'm here. And I just couldn't keep up with the amount of volume, and I didn't want to disrespect anybody's time or feel like I was manipulating the numbers or anything like that. I didn't want a bunch of women sitting there waiting for me. And maybe that's me having too much care about it all. But me, I do care about people, even strangers, right? And I'm not trying to over sexualize anybody. But if you appreciate black women for their natural beauty, curves, and all of that, you're gonna be in love here in Ghana. I said to one of my friends that the women here are built like flight attendants. I've never seen so many amazing bodies, but real at the same time. Like the women here have such amazing curves, that I felt like being a creep, and I wanted to record it so bad just so I could share to people. Like, look, this is what they look like, because it's a feeling that you may get if you have ever been to Atlanta. You get that feeling in Atlanta, except for Atlanta, it's mixed. You don't know what's real sometimes, but here you know it's real, and their fit is not just like overly thick, right? And I'm not saying it to disrespect nobody. I love thick women, I love voluptuous women, but here again, they're if you can imagine how most flight attendants are built, it's natural here. They all walking around looking like that. All right. So that's one only thing I would say that's negative, is I would say if you are not a fan of makeup, you're not gonna like the women. You may not like the women here. I've never seen so many women with caked on makeup before in my life, right? And that's not all women here, but I would say a lot wear makeup and a lot do have wigs, which is a lot of what a lot of men have stated that they do not like, and they do that very often here. And again, that's not to say that's all women in Ghana. I've seen some of the most natural, beautiful curls that I've ever seen, with the most natural, to compare and combine with some of the most natural, beautiful bodies. And again, you get here and you want to be a creep and record to show your friends, but of course I had to keep my phone in my pocket and just acknowledge with my own eyes. But I would say that along with their confidence, the way their grace were, and how kind they were, it made them extremely attractive to me. As I close this video out, I want to say this very clearly because I think that it's important. That I'm not trying to say that Ghanaian women are better than women from other backgrounds. That is not the message here. I haven't even been everywhere, but I have been around. I visited very frequently 40 of the 50 United States, and I spent time in Belize, Japan, Mexico, Amsterdam. I met incredible women in each of those places. But what I've experienced here in Ghana, it challenged me. As a black man, it reshaped how I view black women, in a very positive way. It confronted stereotypes that I didn't even realize that I carried. And that's worth talking about because it's not about comparison, but it's about recognition. It's about giving these women their flowers because they've earned them. And just as a final reflection, I just want to repeat that I did not specifically come to Ghana looking for love. I came here to relax. I'm just reviewing what I've noticed about Ghanaian women, since I've been here. I've also learned some things about myself and that maybe I don't have the bandwidth to give a relationship the time and presence that it truly deserves right now. But what I do have is clarity. I have respect. And what I experience deserves to be acknowledged. And if you are a man and you know what you want, you're not playing games, you just might find something rare here, something real. but just make sure you got the time and the heart to match what they bring to the table. Because I would say that Ghanaian women do show up fully, and they deserve someone who's ready to do the same. All right, that's all I got here for y'all today. I'm out. Take care.